What's up, everyone, and welcome to Project X Talk, an Xbox podcast, episode number 114, presented by Save the Game Media. I'm your host, Kevin, aka the Muffin Mon, and today I am joined by a very special co host. He is the co host of 1 Hour, One Decision, giving you impressions of the latest games dropping into Xbox Game Pass, wasting his time so you don't have to. Chris, how you doing, my friend?
I am doing all right. And here I was going to pretend to be Ethan for just a quick second, and then it's all good. You got the intro. Thanks so much for having me here. Awesome to finally be on this side of the show. So
Yeah, I'm happy to have you here. I check out your show quite often, especially when you're talking about games that I either love, like your Plague Tale episode I was listening to, or games I haven't played yet. I know your Vampire Survivors 100th episode, I believe, just
it
dropped.
was, yeah, it was our our
Yeah.
100th episode. Not a fan, but that's okay. I know there's a lot of people
Oh.
that do.
Oh, well, we'll talk about that later. But in case anyone hasn't heard of you, could you give them a quick little elevator pitch about what 1 hour, one decision is, 1H1D, as you guys call it?
Yeah. So myself and my co-host Tom, we pick a generally we'll pick a random game on Xbox Game Pass, play it for an hour, and decide if we want to keep playing it or not. We've been opening it up to doing like Twitter polls and also requests from people as well. So it's been fun just going through like you said, we just cracked 100 episodes, so it's been quite the journey and going through that the whole library. So oh, you're muted, I think.
I was muted. Thank you. Wow. I have a little cold, so I'm trying
Yeah,
to mute myself so nobody hears me sniffling the entire time. It's
all
gonna
good.
happen again. Yeah, everyone, make sure you go check out Chris's channel and audio feeds. I think you guys are on everything, right?
Yes, we're primarily like spot like all the podcast platforms. I believe we're all on there. Our YouTube stuff i- is on our network partner, Quit the Bill. So all our stuff is there, and check out all their other cool stuff that's over there. Nick and Bruno do their own weekly gaming stuff, and yeah,
Hmm. Okay, okay. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that you could fill in for Ethan as he is currently fighting tornadoes as he
oh
drives
no,
across. Yeah, tornadoes, and then this nor'eastern that's coming in. He's having a nice trip. Let me tell you. If you want to hear
thanks.
more about his trip, tune into I Hate My Friends next week. But before we get into that, this is an Xbox podcast. You can catch us live every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time right here on YouTube. If you can't catch us live, we post every Friday morning on your favorite podcast service. While you're over there, please click the follow button, drop us a review, drop us a rating, whether that's Apple, Spotify. It does help us grow. And if you want to support us further, please head over to patreon.com/save the game media. Choose the tier that is right for you. You can get access to all of our Patreon exclusive shows, just like our current Patreon supporters. So shout out to Bucky Blue, Hopple, Alpaca Tom, Amon, Fabulous Brianna, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, Brianna's wife, Anna Hudak, Nikolai at Night, Cypher, Primus, Brendan Myers, Marcus O'Neill, Lillian, Mimi J, and the Snack Network. Thank you all for your support. We appreciate every single one of you. Now, Chris, before we get into the normal roundup here, as we do every show, you are a first time guest here. So, as we do with all
Yeah.
first time guests, I got to know, what was your first Xbox and what was your favorite Xbox franchise?
Ooh. Um, I did have the original Xbox, but I had it for like a hot second because I think it was when Live first came out, and I don't know. I think I got it with Chaos Theory. I believe is when I
It's a
when I
good game to
actually
get it
came
with.
out. Yeah. Um, and my favorite Xbox franchise, hmm, probably, yeah, I'm probably gonna stick with Gears of War right now because I think
Ooh.
that's been fairly consistent in terms of fun factor for me. And I'm excited to see what comes next with all the other franchises and stuff like that that they have in store. Just to release the games already.
Mhm. Next year. Next
Yeah,
year's the
yeah,
year.
it's almost the next year.
What is your favorite Gears game, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh,
Because for me,
2 is
Gears
probably
2. Yeah.
yeah, I think 2 is probably everyone's, like, favorite. I actually really liked the last one too, and Hive Busters was cool. It was a short and sweet game. But, yeah, I would say 2 is probably, like, number 1 though.
Okay, okay. Gears 5 is probably my least favorite, actually. I
Yeah,
know that's probably a hot take. The
yeah,
one
agree.
I liked Gears 4 more than Gears 5. I'm hoping they can kind of. I want some horror back in the franchise.
True,
That's what I'm
true.
hoping Gear 6 can reintroduce some scary stuff like
I
Gears
just I
1
mean,
had.
I liked the idea of what they did at the end of it, so and I'm curious to see what will happen with that.
Hmm. Yeah, they got a choice to make,
Yeah.
just like you had a choice to make. But we can wrap that up and move on to our normal schedule program. So, as we do each and every week, we go around the room and ask it one simple question. That question is, what have you been playing, my friend? So, what do you got going on this week in terms of games?
Ooh, this week I've been playing through XO1, which was our recent podcast episode,
Hmm.
and I did start High on Life. I've been
Okay.
enjoy I've been enjoying that. And what else did I play? Oh, I just purchased Plague Tale to finish it because it was off of Game Pass, like the
Yeah,
first one,
yeah,
Innocence, and so I started that, and I've been enjoying that as well. So
okay. Okay. So you kind of popping into a little bit of everything right now.
yeah, just a little bit of everything right now. So it's
All
been fun.
right. Okay. Well, as the world's number one Plague Tale fan, I can tell you, play Innocence and then go play Requiem while it's on
Yeah,
Game Pass. All
that
right.
was the plan. That was the plan. I'm
There you
hoping I
go.
get there.
I'm glad you like it enough
Yeah,
I mean, it's probably on sale right now for pretty cheap, I imagine.
it's like $15 or something like that on Game
Well
Pass.
worth it.
Or yeah, yeah.
Well worth it. For me, I've had a heavy week of gaming. Actually, I've been under the weather, so I had a lot more time to play games. So I actually played a lot of Vampire Survivor, believe it or not. The game you were
Okay.
saying wasn't for you.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite entertaining. It's nothing revolutionary. I like to put a podcast on and then just kind of like move my joystick back and forth, occasionally hit the A button to pick some power ups. I
Right.
do find that the garlic and then evolved whip combo is pretty broken. You can survive basically at every level I've done
Mhm.
and no problem until the Reaper shows up and then he messes me up every time. I haven't killed him yet. So I had a good time with it. I thought it was a neat little game. I don't know how much more I'm going to play of it. I did play a few hours, but
Oh,
then
okay.
then actual games came out, and I was like, well, I should say actual games. This is a game, all right, but like more my speed games. So Final Fantasy Reunion Crisis Core. I forget the
Oh, yep.
however the title is. I picked that up. I have played and completed it. It's pretty short. It is a
Okay.
port of the PSP game from back in the day, and it tells you the story of Zach Fair, which is I don't I shouldn't I'm not gonna spoil it because Final Fantasy VII Remake is like a lot of people's first experience with Final Fantasy VII, even though the game has been out for
Yeah,
how many decades now.
right.
Zach is very important to Cloud. Let's just say that. So it tells Zach's story. And you do see some legacy characters like Cloud in the game. Sephiroth, that has a lot to do with Sephiroth. So I liked Crisis Core. You can tell this was a PSP game, though. This game, even with the upgraded visuals, which it does look so much better, and they did improve the gameplay. Just the way it's fundamentally designed, you can tell this was a PSP game because there are moments where it's like, all right, we're gonna fade to a different screen here for no reason. We're gonna fade to another. It's like most of the areas are just this is one long hallway. Run down it until you get to the next little area. So very much old school design. I did like it though. It has me going off being like, well, what are they going to do for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth now? Because there's a whole bunch of things from Final Fantasy VII Remake or things aren't adding up. All right, we're gonna need some explanations here, Square Enix. But the other game you said you popped into it, High on Life.
Yep.
I have almost finished High on Life.
Oh, okay.
It's also a pretty short game from what I can tell, unless there's more than what I suspect, but I can't imagine there is. and I actually really enjoy this game. It's way better than I thought it would be.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're feeling this, but I went in with very little expectations, especially because the reviews seem pretty mixed.
yeah.
And I'm not a Rick and Morty guy, but I find it funny. Like I'm enjoying myself. The weapons are fun.
I'm exact. I never really got into Rick and Morty as well. Like, but I think the just the overall humor of the game, it's weird. It's like it's similar to Rick and Morty, but like it's not. I don't know how to
Hmm.
explain. And I think that the fact that they poke fun at just gaming tropes and stuff like that is great too.
Have
So yeah,
Have you had the where you're talking to like an NPC and then you walk away and
yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, no, that's okay, just walk away. I wasn't in the middle of a conversation or anything. I'm like,
So good. That was so good. And then just the opening sequence was great with the divorce attorney just like
mhm.
reminding you over and over again. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah. There
so
there
good.
there are, other, like, sections like that where the game pretends to be a different game, like,
Right.
there's one, it's like office manager simulator or something. It has you, like,
Yes, I got it so far.
taking stacks
Yeah.
of paper and just, like, initialing them over and
Right.
over again.
Right.
The game is so clever and funny, like, I don't know, I'm just really enjoying it, and
Yeah.
I think it deserves way higher reviews than what I'm seeing.
I I mean, I get it. This type of humor can be off-putting to a bunch of people, but it's a game. It's supposed to be like fun and just be
It's
whatever.
f
Like,
Exactly, it's fun.
yeah.
That's the end all for me. Am I having a good time? Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
really what matters. Swimming in sevens,
Yeah.
as friend of the show Luke Lore would say. I I'm always
Did you
about it.
watch the movie though? Did you watch the movie that what's his name is watching at the in the house?
Yeah, though, is it the hospital one you're talking about?
Yeah, the Tammy and the T-Rex.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been watching clips of it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. It's Paul Walker's in that.
No,
Yeah, Paul
wait, that's a
Walker and
real
Denise Richards.
movie?
It's a real movie. You if you just wait there, you can watch the whole thing.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a clip that they like
No,
made, and it's just on a loop.
no, you just I if you get a chance to just sit there and watch it. It's just so ridiculous and so good.
I saw there's one achievement for spending 15 hours in the strip club, and I was like, "There's no way you actually have to spend 15 hours just, like, sitting there."
Game hours? I don't know. I
I
guess if you
hope
just
not.
live
That'd
there.
be ridiculous. Oh, does quick resume count? I'll put
Yeah,
in quick
right.
resume. Uh, anyway, if there's nothing else, we can get into this week's stories. And it's pretty light on news, guys. Not gonna lie. Holidays are coming. Xbox is like, we're out. Peace. But we have a few things to talk about, primarily related to last week's Game Awards. So the first story will be a Game Awards announcement recap. Before we get into the negative, let's start with the positives. The announcements that we're going to talk about, for the sake of time, will only be discussing games that are coming to the Xbox platform. So we're gonna start with we got a new trailer for Replaced. It's that retro futuristic platform game. It's coming to Xbox Game Pass next year. How are you feeling about Replaced? I know everyone that I was streaming with was really high on this game.
Yes. I'm super excited about this game because this looks so good. This like filled the void for me for the other game that's probably never coming out, which is The Last Night. And I don't know if you remember, it was like
No, I'm gonna Google it.
they yeah, they showed something about it. It was very similar in terms of art style and like the the theme of like a cyberpunk Blade Runner
Yeah, yeah,
esque.
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess it literally got replaced with replaced. So we're doing that. So I'm super excited to see how that game comes out because it definitely looks right up my alley in terms of a
Wow,
game I would play.
2017 E3 reveal trailer for
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
It looks very similar, actually.
yeah.
Okay.
I
I
guess there's some sort of controversy from with the creator, um,
Oh, mm,
and then they just kind
that's
of
never
faded.
good.
Yeah,
Uh, I'm I'm not really excited for Replaced. It doesn't look like a Kevin style game, to be honest. But maybe I'll listen to you play it for an hour and see see if my
yeah,
thoughts will change.
yeah.
Um, Bigger announcement. Hades 2, which isn't officially confirmed for Xbox yet. It'll be launching into early access on PC. However, Hades came to Xbox, came to everything else. We can assume Hades 2 will come to Xbox at some point. So, how are you feeling about Hades 2, Chris?
Well, how do you feel about it? Let me ask you that first.
I don't like roguelites.
Yeah,
So,
same.
this this ain't for me.
The
This
same
is
for me.
this is it's so funny because everyone's like, "Oh, Hades is amazing." And I'm like, but I
Yeah.
don't like the style of game. I love like the art and everything,
Yeah.
especially in this one, looks great,
Yeah.
but the actual gameplay mechanics aren't for me. The only roguelite I've played and like kind of enjoyed was Cult of the Lamb, and that's because it's barely a roguelite.
Right. I'm surprised that that you enjoyed Vampire Survivors because of that.
Me too.
So I was like, that's where I was like, but yeah, like Hades, like I just couldn't get into it. And the fact that I heard that you actually have to beat it 9 times or something like that to get the true ending, I was like, oh, I'm
I
not
don't
doing
even
this.
know.
I'm not even doing
Probably.
this. Yeah.
That usually, I mean, I've tried Returnal too on PlayStation. Me and Taylor from our No Limits podcast, we
Yeah.
played I think 2 hours of Returnal co-op, and then we never played it again. And I was like, I think I've experienced all I need to experience. The game's hard, and then you die and you start all over. Yep,
Yeah.
good
And it's
time.
like the fact that, all the power-ups and all that stuff that you get are just thrown aside, like thrown into the trash. I'm like, what's the point of this? I don't need this.
Yeah, I really need progression
Yeah.
in my game. That to have a sense of I'm accomplishing something.
Right.
When you take
Right.
it all away, I'm like, this ain't
Pat
for
me
me.
on the back every once in a while. Not, you know.
Maybe a game that will appear to you appeal to you more. Ken Levine's new game, Judas, creator of BioShock. How are you feeling about this one, though?
I mean, this looked exactly like BioShock. I think they just changed the way that instead of injecting yourself, you got like this little ball in your hand or something like that that you do something with. It's I don't know. It looks like it could be interesting. I never really got into BioShock, but like I just might have been well, I think I was just terrified of the what was it called? Big Daddy? Like
Hmm.
chasing after me. So I don't know.
It's this is obviously I think one of the biggest announcements that came out of the Game Awards, and
Yeah.
Ghostly March in the chat says looked so good. I think that's a lot of people's sentiment. I do think the game looked good,
Yeah.
but confession time, everyone. I've never played BioShock, and I've never had the urge to play
See,
BioShock.
I'm right there with like you and I are just like in sync right now with all our thoughts. Like that's why I feel like every time I listen to you, I'm like, all right, it's like you're
Understand.
yeah,
We
I
get it.
understand.
I do think the game looks good.
Yeah,
I know my brother is a huge BioShock fan. Like he's played all of them, loves them to death. So this is gonna blow up. This is gonna be a huge game
oh
no
yeah,
matter what. I just hope it isn't another name building up hype and then the game isn't as good as the name recognition, which I think we've seen. Not saying this game is bad because I actually know a lot of people that say Callisto Protocol is really good, but Glenn Schofield had the name recognition and was like, this is the second coming of Dead
yeah,
Space. Reviews came out and everyone's like, okay, maybe we jumped the gun here a bit. So this is a different team. This is a different studio. Yes, it's Ken Levine. It does look good, but Callisto also looked good. And we need to just tamper expectations until we see more, until we get previews,
agreed.
reviews, and see actually what's going on here. Because
Yeah.
who knows?
Do you
They
know
are. Oh,
who's
sorry.
publishing this? I don't know. I was just wondering who's publishing this game.
Oh, I don't know. Let's see if Google knows. Yeah, it doesn't give me any information. I have no idea who's publishing this game
Hmm.
because I know. Was it did Take Two? Was it Take Two that did the other ones?
Yeah,
Um,
or
they
2K,
or
2K.
yeah, they're same thing, same
Oh
thing.
yeah, yeah, that's
Tomato,
true.
tomato. I think they're making a new I think they're making a
Yes.
BioShock game, but from the all the rumors that have come out about this new BioShock 4 or whatever you want to call it, sounded like they were going to make it open world and kind of very
Oh
different to what BioShock was.
yeah.
Um, Ghostly March in the chat says 2K. So maybe 2K is that for Judas? Are they doing both? Are they publishing both? Because then they're golden. They
That
they
would
don't
that would
know.
be interesting to see, like to for them to release both the OG and the spiritual successor remake or whatever you want to call it.
I cannot find. Anyway, if it is 2K, let us know in the chat for Ghost Story for Judas. The Ghost Story's new game, but Street Fighter 6 got its release date, June 2nd, 2023. How are you feeling? You a fighting game fan there, Chris?
I've always wanted to be good at fighting games. I'm just like I can't. I don't know what it is. I just don't have the patience, I guess, to just really get in the weeds of like getting technical with these games. But I always
Hmm.
enjoy a fighting game every once in a while.
Yeah,
The whole create a character seems interesting. Is there like a world almost like the Dragon Ball? Was it the what was that Dragon Ball game where you kind of roam
fighters.
around? Yeah, fighters, but you kind of roam around as well. Is that kind of the
Um, from take yeah, Ghost Story Games is under Take Two. Oh, so I guess Take
oh
Two has both of them. They're all good then. I guess they were like, Ken, go have your own brand new studio, which is so
hedging their
weird to me.
bets? Yeah.
Yeah, so weird to me. Street Fighter 6 though, back to this. Street Fighter isn't the fighting game that I usually play.
Hmm.
I prefer more the anime fighters like Guilty Gear.
Oh, okay.
I'm really into platform fighters like Smash. I played a lot of Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, Multiverses, those type of fighting games. Street Fighter 6 I think looks visually impressive. Um, I don't think it's something for me. And I actually am the opposite of you, where don't really like the create a character thing because I'm
Hmm.
playing a fighting game to play as
Oh,
those
yeah.
characters and not
It's
make
not
my
that
own.
it's not. I don't think it's necessarily like for me. I don't. I hate going through creating my character in games most of the
Oh,
time because I'm just like I just randomize
default
it. Let me go.
shepherd.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I think I just think it's interesting they added that to the game
Mm.
just so yeah, like because you have your array of um your staple of characters usually like the Ryu and the Kens and all that stuff, which I don't think they've revealed. Have they revealed Ken in the game yet?
Ken has not been shown to be in the game yet, which is like a big talking point
Yeah.
where is Ken? He's like a mainstay
Yeah.
in Street Fighter. So it'd be very weird
Yeah.
if he wasn't here. We have a question in the chat that we can get to. CBH for God, thank you, shout out. Do y'all think Sifu should have multiplayer? I've never played Sifu. I don't know how it
That would
would
be
do with
interesting.
multiplayer. Um,
If it was like a brawler, like a Streets of Rage, that would be kind of cool.
that would
Uh,
be cool. I was thinking PvP. PvE,
yeah,
yes. PvE, I'm down for. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Throw that in Sifu for sure. That'd be
I
cool.
don't know. PvP would be. It'd be interesting too.
Then
Like
it then it
in
could
a way.
actually have been nominated for fighting game of the year because it
Yeah.
didn't belong in that category.
No, it definitely did not. I guess if the only way I was thinking about it that they threw it in there is one, maybe they just didn't have enough people games to pick for that, and then two, I think also because um, you have to be pretty technical with this game too. That's the only thing I can think of. But
Yeah, you definitely have to be technical for Street Fighter. It's one of the more complicated. Like I mean, it's the old school fighting game, right? Like
yeah,
quarter circles, half circles, actual things instead of these days. A lot of fighting games have shortcuts where you like, oh, you can tap the same button over and over again, and
yeah,
it'll do a combo for you. We'll see. I think it looks great. I doubt I will pick it up. If I do, it'll be a deep sale. I was
yeah.
debating getting Street Fighter 5 the other day because it was $5, and
Oh,
I got a new fight stick here that I want an extra life, and I was like,
ooh,
maybe I'll just try it out a little bit.
yeah. Why not?
Next, we have Star Wars Jedi Survivor releasing March 17th, and we got a trailer for it.
Yeah,
Chris, this game looks awesome.
yeah. I I was I went into the first game with very low expectations, and I enjoyed it. I had a great time. You know, I know that Disney or Sony or Lucasfilms or whatever won't ever allow dismemberment, but that if they had that, I would have been like, oh, it would have been amazing if they had it. Like just cutting off limbs of stormtroopers and stuff like that. But I mean, you can cut off robots and stuff like that, which I
Mhm.
guess is there. But yeah,
Um,
I'm super pumped for this game, and Respawn's done some great stuff already. So
For sure, yeah. Arkwing in the chat, Jedi Survivor looking sick for
Yeah.
sure. I think this was one of the best trailers we saw at the Game Awards. I thought it
Yep.
was visually very impressive. And even though I'm not like I like Star Wars, I'm not super into Star Wars like
Right.
some people. I thought the game looked phenomenal. March 17th, that's sooner than I think most people expected it because I feel like we just got the other one, but Respawn Ghostly March, Respawn carrying EA on their back, which
100%.
is fair. Respawn
100%.
Respawn is easily their best studio, I think.
Yeah.
From their output to the quality of their games, there's no disputing that Respawn is putting out good products, and this looks to be another good product.
Yep. Can't wait. Is it I hope it's gonna hope I mean, Fallen Order came to Game Pass, so I'm hoping that this
Yeah,
shows
yeah.
up as
So,
well.
well, it's an EA game, so it'll come after 6 months, I think it is.
Oh, is that
Anyway,
it? Okay.
yeah, yeah. That's usually how their process goes. So, like, wait 6 months, and then the game will come on
Alright, cool.
around there. So, if you don't want to buy it at launch, you can just wait, and it'll eventually come to Game Pass.
Nice.
Next is a thing I'm very excited for, and that was the reveal of Earthblade from Extremely OK Games, who are the creators of Celeste.
Oh.
So it showed off the new pixel art for this game. It looks to be a Metroidvania, even though they put out a little briefing afterwards, and they're like, we don't really want to call it a Metroidvania, even though it's kind of like a Metroidvania. I was like, okay, it's a Metroidvania then. The level design, everything looks Metroidvania. I liked Celeste a lot, not just because I think it's a good 2D platformer, but I genuinely think it has a great message and story about mental health and depression in that platformer. If they could do something along those lines where they take it the Metroidvania genre, the pixel arts, and actually tell a compelling, emotional, impactful story, I think this is a slam dunk. I'm super excited. This is coming out in 2024.
Oh, wow, okay, okay. Yeah, it looked pretty good. I haven't played Celeste myself, but I've
Oh.
heard very good things about it, and, I don't like, those kinda, like, pixel perfect, like, platformers and stuff like that sometimes frustrate me, but then yet for some reason, I really love, like, Guacamelee, like, that stuff was
Mm.
great. That was a great one.
Now, I didn't care for Guacamelee, but I love Nobody Saves the World.
Interesting.
Have you played Nobody
I
Saves the
haven't played
World?
that. I do need
Oh,
to try that, though.
yeah, you guys gotta get on that for the game. One H1D plays
Oh,
Nobody Saves the
is
World.
that an official request? And I will throw
I
it up
would
on.
love to hear you guys cover that game
Alright, well,
for sure.
done.
Yeah, yeah,
Done.
because I think it's Drinkbox's best game by a mile.
Wow, okay.
Next, we got an emotional impact. So Kevin Conroy will be voicing Batman in Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. His final appearance as Batman, and I don't know if it's his final overall performance, but it is his final performance as Batman, May 26th, 2023. How are we feeling?
I'm excited about this game because Rocksteady has done fantastic work with the DC universe as a whole. I'm curious to see what this whole like the whole storyline and all that like how what is it? Is it 3-player multiplayer or is that what they did?
I think it's single player.
It's all oh it's just oh okay.
I don't
Well,
know. I honestly, the only gameplay bits I remember of it, I think it was last year's Game Awards, and it was
mhm,
like a third person over the shoulder, like shooter game. I don't know if it
oh
has multiplayer. I can't remember.
okay. Well, either way, I'm sure it's going to be. I'm hoping it's going to be great because, like I said, Rocksteady's done some great stuff already with the DC universe, and yeah, it just looks quirky and fun. Like, let's see, and then of course the fact that we get to hear Kevin Conroy's voice one more time and like a new thing is always great too. So,
So I did just Google it. It is 4-player multiplayer. Actually,
oh, excellent,
I guess you can play as all of them. So
nice,
co-op that is makes me more intrigued about the game because the gameplay I saw didn't really sell me, but also I'm not a big Suicide Squad guy, like none of those
yeah,
characters. I'd rather play as like the Flash and like the
sure,
heroes. So a very emotional tribute. It'll be interesting to see how they tie this in like story wise, just the way the Arkham games ended, and now this is supposed to be in the same universe. So really
oh, it
interested in
is
there.
okay.
Yeah, 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 apparently that's what they say. So we'll see what happens there, but that comes out in May. Then we got another trailer for Diablo 4, which I'm all in for. I love Diablo. I've been all you didn't have to show me anything. You just been like Diablo 4, here you go. I'll be like, all right, where are we dropping?
Just the Halsey performance was enough for you? That was
Honestly, yeah. Just with the
it.
logo in the background, yeah. I'm down
Yeah,
with that.
I hope they I was a little confused about the ending of Diablo 3, like, the main storyline. I thought that was kind of nonsense, but otherwise, like, the gameplay was fun. I know a lot of people didn't really enjoy Diablo 3 because it was, like, point and, like, you don't even, like, point it at it. You just click to win or, like, throughout the game. And I think they're trying to go back a bit more to Diablo's 2 style of play, where you actually have to position yourself and your character, which will hopefully be a little more challenging than Diablo 3. So
Diablo
I'm excited
3,
though.
yeah, Diablo 3 got really easy to break, end game. I put a lot of hours into there were some broken builds. But yeah, I Ghostly March of Chat. I like Diablo 3 a lot, but thought Diablo 2 is better.
Yep.
I fully agree with that. I think Diablo 2 is most people's favorite Diablo. Diablo 3 went a little too maybe catering to casual fans as
Mm.
much as gatekeepy as that sounds, but listen, all right. Sometimes you gotta appeal to your fan base.
I have to say though, I thought they did a fantastic job with the port to the consoles for that.
I've never played it on console.
I honestly I felt like it played better on the consoles than
Hmm.
it did on PC. And I was kind of sad because I went back to playing Diablo 3 with a couple of friends on PC and I missed like there's no they didn't ever through the controller porting to the
Yeah.
PC version.
Yep.
So yeah,
All
but
right.
it worked pretty well.
Well, that game also comes out in June of next year, and most likely won't be on Game Pass at launch. Just saying, everyone.
Well, let's hope that that Activision thing
Yeah,
gets
yeah.
cleared out right now.
I don't know
It's like
that. Next up, we have a game from Bandai Namco and Amazon Games. It's an MMO called Blue Protocol.
yeah.
This looks very anime, very gotcha. It's supposed to compete with Genshin Impact, I believe they said in a press release. So it's free to play. I will give it a go because I like anime aesthetics. I would be very surprised if I stick with this game because of gotcha mechanics. And Amazon Games is 0
Mm.
for 2 for me in terms of games they put out because I've tried Lost Ark and no, their
Yeah.
games are not hitting for me. Let me tell you.
Did you try New World by any chance?
No, because by the time I got a PC that could run it, everyone was gone. Like the
It's already gone.
player base was up here, and then they're like, "Ooh,
Yeah, I went back. I did purchase New World. I did try it out, and it was fun for a little bit, and then it just kind of got lost in the sauce or whatever it was. But there was so many other games I could play at the time, so I don't know. This game, like any games that have that, like to your point, that anime aesthetics, especially like that cell shaded look to it, or whatever you want to call it. It always gets me intrigued, but never I don't know. I don't know. I just tend to fall off on them a bit. But
okay,
yeah, like if you like you said, since it's free to play, maybe I'll give it a shot too.
all right." We got three more announcements here. None of them first party Xbox announcements. We'll go to the Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty DLC. The big announcement: Idris Elba's in the game. He they are like, we got Keanu. Who else is big? Let's get Idris in here. So,
Right.
cool. I didn't like my 5 hours with Cyberpunk and never went back.
Really? So I think I'm with you. I did put like maybe 5 hours into it. I think I had the same issue with The Witcher 3. Like I put in like maybe 5 to 10 hours and I didn't get it. And then I got to the point where well with Witcher 3 to the Bloody Baron storyline and I was like, "Oh, okay. This is cool." And I think the same thing happened to me. I had that moment in Cyberpunk where something happens and you're like, "Oh, okay." Now it just clicked for me at that point. So
Okay. Witcher 3 is also a game I have not played. Uh,
I mean, hey,
Something about
It's
CDPR. Their games just don't hit for me. All right.
it's not for everyone. I get it. I mean, just like Vampire Survivors is not for me. It's just and Hades is not for me. But you know, it is what it is. Like a lot of people love them. But and I've enjoyed my time with those games though. It's been cool. They just
But
like to live in those wororlds.
But Chris, listen, in Vampire Survivors, okay, you could get this big
No,
garlic shield,
no,
okay, and then like
not
lasers,
interested.
pew pew pew, they blast and all that. Okay,
You're literally just walking around, Kevin. I cannot.
yes,
I
bro.
cannot.
Sometimes there's arrows. Is like walk this way, you'll find something down here.
No,
Uh,
no, pass.
uh, Crime Boss Rocky City, March 28th, 2023. This is the game that features Vanilla Ice
Yeah.
and Chuck Norris and Danny Glover.
It,
I don't know what the game is, but I know they got casting. All right.
the thing that kind of worries me is that at least I checked it on the Epic Game Store. It was like $40. So it's like you get all these, you got these big name. You know, you got a bunch of actors in this game, and you're only charging $40. Like, what's going on here? Is this game absolute crap, and you're just like hoping that people you'll entice them enough to get it at that lower price point? I don't know.
Mm. According to Google, Crime Boss Rocky City is an organized crime game combining first person shooter action and turf wars, playable solo or with friends. And pre purchase, it's on sale right now for
How is
$32.
how is it on sale? It didn't come out yet.
Sale ends March 28th. So the sale is good until the release date. All right. So at that point, I think that's just the price of the game.
Yeah.
I don't think you can call it a sale before the game because it's
Uh,
very weird.
that
Um,
is that
so if
would
you
be an
want,
interesting that would be interesting if pre-orders were lower priced than like after pre-orders. They
I've
did that.
seen a few games doing that. I know I just picked up Blacktail, which is a game from Focus is publishing it,
Mhm.
and they were having a launch day sale, and it was like 20% off. So instead of 30, I got it for 23. There have been a few games like that where I think Nickelodeon All Star Brawl had a similar thing where I picked that
Okay.
up for like 30 instead of 40. So it's becoming more common to see like either pre-order sale or day of sales to try to entice people. But that always leads me to the question like, is that just the price it should be? You know?
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know what the game is still. Like, none of
Yeah.
this told me anything.
Yeah. Just a bunch of words thrown together. Hopefully makes sense, but doesn't.
Biggest announcement, maybe. Armored Core 6 from Software coming out next year. It'll be on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, PS5. Um, are you an Armored Core guy? Are you a FromSoft guy?
I am neither, but I am curious about this game because you know who doesn't like giant robots? You know that's the fun part about it. And I don't know if it's like I've never played an Have you played one? Because I have no idea like how it works. I saw some YouTube videos about like how you can customize your mech, but
Hmm.
that's about
I don't remember if I've played an Armored Core game.
it.
A lot of the mech games from the early like 2000s kind of just blend together,
True,
It's like
true.
they got hover boosters, they can zoom around the battlefield, they can hit and shoot. They all kind of look the same in my mind at this point.
Except for Shogo was a great game.
I don't know what that is.
It was by the guys who did Shadow of Mordor, Monolith.
Shogo Mobile Armor Division. Is
Yeah,
that
yep.
on
Shogo
Steam
was a great game.
for $10?
There you go, $10. It's a good time, good old time.
This is cool. I think it's crazy that From Software put out Elden Ring last year or this
This
year.
year,
They
this
put out
year.
Elden Ring this year, and now they already have another game coming out next year. They put out Sekiro 3 years ago. Their turnaround time is insane
Yeah,
for From Software. Clearly, they have multiple teams working on stuff over there. They've said this isn't a Souls like game. It is going to be an Armored Core experience. So good for those fans. I know it's one of the long rumored. The game looks from leaked screenshots very impressive. I don't think this game is for me, but
yeah. It seems very technical, like I mean, just like most of their games, but um, yeah, I'm excited to at least see what people are saying about it, and then kind of make my judgment there.
Mhm. Well, Chris, on to the negatives because in what was a rough week for Xbox concerning the Activision Blizzard merger, many fans looked to the Game Awards and the hopes of announcements, but the hope was dashed as Xbox was nowhere to be found throughout the entirety of the nearly 3 hour show, leading many fans to feel disappointed and leading journalists like Ryan McCaffrey speak out about their absence. So I wanted to get your thoughts on this. How do you feel about Xbox not being at the Game Awards, especially given their 2022 presence, their lack of first party releases? How are we feeling? Should fans be upset that there wasn't anything shown?
Um, I- I've had this conversation with a bunch of people, and like it's a Keeley show, and he generally like is. I don't know if you. I don't want to say anti Microsoft or anti Xbox, but like you see, like there seems to be a lean towards more Nintendo and Sony stuff in the shows in general. But like the other thing is there's the possibility that um what you call it? Uh God, I just had a brain fart.
Hmm, it's all right.
That like with the Activision stuff they had to stay quiet
Mhm.
because of it. And they can't really show releases because they want to show like, hey, we don't have much coming out or whatever it is. So yeah, I'm not like we already know what they have in store. It's just a matter of I think people are tired of just seeing trailers. Like, show us release dates, show us like concrete stuff.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I don't think anyone really should be mad that they skipped the Game Awards because they never said they were going to be there. All right. Game Awards for me very much is a what happens there, great. Like don't go in expecting anything. Go don't go thinking like, oh, this is definitely going to be there. It's fun to predict. And Chris, I saw your message, so you can grab that call real quick. Um so what I'm gonna say is I think people are kind of blowing their absence out of proportion. However, we do need to see something soon. It has been since June with the Xbox Bethesda showcase that we last heard anything from Xbox, from Bethesda, and they're supposed to be releasing multiple games next year. They're supposed to be releasing Starfield, Redfall, and Forza Motorsport before June of 2023. Their showcase said all these games are coming in the next 12 months, and we need release date because what are they going to drop a showcase in January, February, and then they have 4 months to get out three giant games, and that's if none of those are further delayed. Which I know some people think Starfield definitely isn't coming out in the first half of the year. I'm still very much hoping that it does come out, and then second half of the year we can focus on maybe Hellblade 2, which I would love to see it coming out next year. Yes, I think Xbox has been quiet for too long. I do think it is a matter of we just need release dates at this point, and that gets a little into the marketing cycle. We have to wait. I think Aaron Greenberg says we have to wait to start showing things when it's right.
Mhm.
And this isn't the right time to start marketing your new games in December because December should be for what can I buy this Christmas? That is the marketing plan here.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And yeah, they've already got a lot of stuff, and like for me, because Game Pass has already given me a bunch of stuff already, even if it's not first party. But as long as they still have those partnerships with third party companies, like they did with
Mhm.
Sega and well, EA and etc. I'll be fine. But like, yeah, it would be nice to be able to say like, yeah, Xbox has these quote unquote exclusives. Like it still comes to PC for the most part, but you know that kind of stuff would be cool to finally see, and especially with all the what do they have 22 studios now or
I
no
think
more?
they got more than that. I
Yeah,
think yeah,
all those the only studio right now that's been really killing it for them it has been Obsidian. Like
yeah.
they've been cranking out games left and right, and like that's been a great purchase for them.
Yeah, Obsidian for sure. I've long said Obsidian is going to turn into Xbox. It's like Insomniac on the PlayStation side, just pumping out quality games. all the time, seem to be workhorses,
Yeah.
absolute crazy. I think people want Ninja Theory to develop really into that, Sony Santa Monica style with like comparing Hellblade to God of War. And I would love that. I would love Hellblade to be considered on that tier, but they got to earn it. They got to
Yeah.
get there first. They got to get build up their repertoire because these are studios that are new to the Xbox ecosystem. They gotta learn, they gotta put out the games, and they gotta earn that reputation before like there's
Yeah.
promise for sure. I think Hellblade is a masterpiece. The first one is amazing, but
Mhm.
we're gonna see what's gonna come out of these studios. I know people are sick of waiting. I'm sick of waiting. 2023, I think, will be an absolute amazing year. Like
Regardless of
it
what
has to be.
yeah, I mean, regardless of what Microsoft is or isn't coming out with, there's still so many other games that are coming out that it's nuts. Like, I'm excited to, try them,
Well,
hopefully try them all on.
have you looked at the coming soon to Game Pass section on the Xbox store? Because we have Monster Hunter Rise, we have Atomic Heart, we have the Persona games, we have like those are the first 3 months
It's nuts.
of third party games coming to game. Like we have big games dropping into Game Pass, which
Yeah.
I think sometimes can be more important than an exclusive to Xbox, but they do need the exclusives to generate more like hype for their console.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, and then of course the partnership that they have with Riot, like that's I know a lot of people are like kind of like meh whatever, but it's pretty cool. Like once this stuff comes to console, like all those potential users, and like I think with Game Pass you get like all it unlocks a bunch of stuff
Mhm.
for
All the
free. So
heroes, tons of skins, a bunch of
interesting,
stuff. Yeah, we
interesting stuff.
talked about that recently about how it's kind of been going under the radar, that Riot deal, but Xbox hasn't they haven't hit on the first party this year,
Mhm.
but I do think Game Pass has still been pretty strong.
Yeah,
Um, and I don't know. I think it's a positive because game prices are going up,
yeah,
says UB8. I think Game Pass, I assume.
right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And we touched on that last week with the $70 increase to making
Yeah,
Game Pass like more attractive. And it's good that they put out the $70 before Starfield and then went up for like pre-order because now people are like, well, maybe I'll just grab Game Pass instead.
right,
Yeah.
right.
So do better, Xbox, but we'll give you next year. If next year somehow doesn't hit, you're in trouble. All right,
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. Like we need those games.
agreed.
But we can go on to our last story, and this one I just threw in here. It broke today. Tomb Raider has a new publisher, and it's Amazon Games? Question mark.
Oh,
Announced today on Twitter, Crystal Dynamics and Amazon Games have reached an agreement under which Crystal Dynamics will develop a new multi platform Tomb Raider title, with Amazon Games providing full support and publishing the game globally. The yet as untitled new Tomb Raider game is a single player, narrative driven adventure game that continues Lara Croft's story from the Tomb Raider series. So, I normally I wouldn't be like, okay, this is who it's Tomb Raider, it's a publishing agreement. I'm just confused because Crystal Dynamics was bought by Embracer Group.
yeah.
And instead of publishing Tomb Raider, Embracer's like, nah, Amazon, you're gonna publish it. Can
Pass
you
it on.
can you explain it to me, Chris? What?
I I'm just as confused. Like, and Embracer, and I like how everyone is like really complaining about Xbox or Microsoft purchasing Activision, but like Embracer is just as big, if not bigger, I think, right? In terms of their number of studios and
Oh,
stuff like that.
Embracer has like 80 something studios with 100
Nuts.
and something teams or something.
Yeah. But it get like, yeah, you would think they have all that money. Why wouldn't they publish it? I don't know. Like maybe Amazon was just like desperate. Like, look, we've had a really bad start with like our games. Please give us this one. I don't know. Bezos is begging. I don't know.
It literally baffles me. I asked someone to explain it on Twitter, and nobody has been able to put because Embracer bought them and Eidos Montreal, and then Square Enix Montreal, which then went to Anoma, and they shut that studio down. So they've
Oof.
already closed one of the three studios they bought for that $300 million, which I think is looking more and more like they just wanted the IP. But then you take the IP you bought and you're like, Amazon, you're gonna fund it, you're gonna publish it. What are you getting out of this, Embracer Group? What are you there's something not adding up to me here. It doesn't
I
make
don't
any
know.
sense because normally the way
'Cause, like, those Tomb Raider games have sold pretty well, right?
they've sold well, not well enough for Square Enix, but nothing's good
Right.
enough for Square Enix, all right?
Right.
Especially if you're a Western division.
Yeah.
Ghostly March in the chat says Amazon going to buy Embracer conspiracy.
Hmm.
It's
That
weird because Embracer funds these double A games, like
Mhm.
SpongeBob SquarePants and the Cosmic Shakes coming out next month.
Ooh,
Yeah, which
that
is great.
that's
I
amazing.
like a lot of I like a lot of Embracer published games. They're that double A sevens that I often like pick up for fun and have a good time.
Yeah.
But what confuses me is you get Tomb Raider, why wouldn't you publish it? Then take the money you earn from that game, which will probably be a success, and then put it back in and make that studio even better, make a new, better. Like that's usually the model for game development. Instead, it seems to be buy a studio, give them to someone else to get money, and then go buy more studios to give them. Like, I'm just confused.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't know what's going on over there, but I'm sure they're trying to make money. That's all they're in the business of making money. So there must be something in the way that they're managing this business that is like giving them uh, dollars or whatever else the currency that they use. So
They apparently did make a profit even on Saints Row, which didn't didn't come out to great reception. I don't know how
right.
else to say it. Like the game was a broken mess, but they were like, "We're good. We're still gonna make some money." I don't know. I don't know what you do in Embracer Group. That's a weird one for sure. But Chris, that is all we have for today. I want to thank you for coming on. Hope you had fun. You are
Yeah,
welcome
this
back
is fun.
anytime.
Yes, this was awesome. Thank you so much for the opportunity to just chat with you guys in person. This was on the chat, but the chat has been awesome too.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for joining too. That was
Yeah,
great.
thanks chat for hanging out. Make sure to hit that like button. Tell YouTube that they're like, hey, screw you, YouTube. We're gonna hit the like button. I think that's what it means. And then also subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and we're almost halfway through 600. So
Nice.
if you keep going, we'll get there. We need your support. Chris, one more time, where can people find you and all your wonderful content?
Sure. I'm on Twitter at TC1H1D. Our podcast is on all platforms. It's 1 hour, one decision, 1H1D. And, every once in a while, I'll write on Quit the Build's website, which is quitthebuild.com. And you can check out all the other cool stuff over there too. So again, thank you so much. This was super fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can find me at the Muffin Mon on Twitter. It's a 1 to 7 I, Owen 7A. Follow us at Save Game Media over on Twitter. Stay up to date with all of our latest videos, everything we're going on. Basically, do podcasts every day. We're gonna have some reviews. Our Game of the Year discussion is coming up in the next couple of weeks as we round out the year. That's gonna be a big one, let me tell you. And maybe some controversy will go on. All right,
Ooh.
maybe one PlayStation exclusive isn't gonna be on Game of the Year, but well, I still have to get some lists. So we will see you next week.